I'm not even going to bother doing an intro for this video because honestly, to even meme on this is horrible. A lot of people lost their jobs. None of them, thankfully, blame any of the content creators that publicized any of this. So for those of you that are feeling vitriol toward a content creator bullying the business or the CEO of Artesian Builds, just know that the employees of the company disagree with you wholeheartedly. I've talked to a lot of employees of Artesian. Not a single one of them blames a content creator. They all blame Noah, and they said this is all just a matter of time. I have a timeline here that goes through an awful lot of crazy shit. Suffice to say, for those of you that want a TLDR, the company is insolvent. They have no money. They are broke. They're not paying their employees. It appears that they are no longer going to honor any returns or any other PC builds from yesterday moving forward. They've retained legal counsel to try and pour over the books. It appears like it's going to take them forever to be able to do that. Everything that I can see here points toward Artesian Builds just openly declaring bankruptcy at some point in the relatively near future. But Noah apparently is still trying to continue to conduct business himself. Yeah. Okay, so for those of you that want to see the bye-bye message that he posted on Slack, I've got that. I'll show it to you. And then we're just going to go into the history here, because this stuff is mind-blowing. Hello, everyone. As I mentioned yesterday, I've been spending the past week working relentlessly across many areas on the back end, attempting to secure the vital funding necessary to sustain company operations. While that process is continuing, I have an important announcement to share. Effective immediately, Artesian is imposing a full freeze on all business financial activities. To ensure fair treatment of everyone involved with Artesian, including customers, creditors, and employees, Artesian is undergoing a financial analysis by outside counsel for reorganization purposes and is freezing all payments of any kind pending the recommendations made by counsel. And there's more. Oh, there's more. We do not have any further information to share at this time, but expect to learn more by the end of March. I want to sincerely thank every single one of you on this talented team for the hard work and dedication that you brought to this company. If financing does come, then we will potentially get back into the action. We'll see. Yeah. Now, naturally, there were a lot of questions about paychecks and orders and returns and all kinds of other stuff. And all that's going to get answered, but that's your TLDR. The company is insolvent. They have no money. They're not paying anyone anything. I'm going to get into the timeline. If you guys don't want to stick around, I mean, it's been like, 2.5, 3 minutes. If you guys don't want to stick around after this point, I completely understand. This is a wild ride, though. So maybe hang out, And if you dig this kind of content, I don't like actually doing this kind of content an awful lot, but, sub the channel if you feel like it. Noah Katz has been quoted as saying that he's the hardest working person in the office, historically. He's always been the person that has said on camera, I get to the office first and I'm the last one to leave. Technically speaking, Noah never left the office because Noah never had a commute to the office because Noah lived at the office. He lived upstairs from the warehouse. Almost every day, Noah was supposed to be in the office. However, he didn't show up to the office sometimes until 5 or 6 p.m., and I wouldn't get a chance to talk to him. He wanted to be the Elon Musk of PC building, but there is no way that was ever going to happen with how little he managed the company. He literally lived in an apartment above the West Coast warehouse, and he wouldn't show up until 3 or 4 p.m. most days when all he had to do was walk downstairs. The only meeting that we ever had in the 2 months I worked there was last Thursday when he was trying to salvage something. Also, Noah's parents were his biggest investors, and I'm pretty sure they were bankrolling the company. They came to the California office and have been there all last week, and I personally spoke with his mother yesterday. So my natural response to this, which is that section in blue, was me going, wow, his parents came to the office. It must have been like a come to Jesus thing. They must have been shocked. No, yesterday was our last day in the office, and whenever I talked to them, meaning his parents, they would say that there was no one working harder to save the company than Noah. He was apparently on the phone all day, but we barely saw him. Now, that last bit of that blue section there was me asking if they had seen the YouTube stuff by now. He said, yeah. He said that that was where I was asking about whether or not they blamed content creators, and the response to that was no. Now, leading up to this, there was a tweet that went out about a potential buyout of the company from employees. But remember, all of this buyout discussion ended up occurring without a CFO. See, the CFO quit 6 months ago. Their COO, their operations officer, quit in December. People that manage the warehouse in the east side of the country in North Carolina, where 75% or more of the builds got done, like they were doing 40 builds a day, where the West Coast office was doing somewhere around 10 to 15 per day. Those guys, the people that manage that office, they quit because they got belittled to no end and they just couldn't take the stress of it anymore. This place is just Noah. All of the decisions and stuff, the PR stuff that goes out, everything that occurs happens with Noah's participation in all of it. Leading into this, for those of you that want a quick update on the story here, there was a streamer by the name of Kia Pia, someone that won a giveaway that they had done for people that were partnered or affiliated with Artesian Builds. The rule was you had to have a banner ad in the About Me section of your Twitch page. You were entered into a monthly giveaway to get a free PC. She won. Then Noah went after she won and tried to change the criteria of the giveaway to say that she needed a larger following and a higher concurrent viewer count in order to be able to actually win the PC, which is illegal in both California and the country, but that doesn't matter. They then went in and did some half-assed apologies. He said, sorry, not sorry, in a bunch of tweets. Then he disappeared from Slack conversations I have and DMs that I have. He disappeared for like a day, maybe two, something like that. And then the apology that they ended up drafting on that white piece of letterhead or whatever, that digital apology that, again, read like a non-apology, was actually drafted by a PR team. He never saw it. That wasn't his apology. That was like the PR team on behalf of him, and he didn't even know that apology went out. He came downstairs late in the evening and then recorded that other video with the sigh, and everybody gets to enter into the giveaways for the PCs and all this other stuff to try and like save his brand. That was the only piece that he actually had any involvement in when it came to apologizing to anyone. At the same time that they were doing all of that, he locked everyone out of the social media accounts. He locked everyone out and then put up a tweet saying that they were examining a potential employee-led buyout of the company. Thank you for your support. Now, that was at 3:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which puts it at about lunchtime on the West Coast. Not until hours later did Noah end up emerging from his apartment after writing that tweet, and all of the employees saw it, to then come downstairs and have a conversation with the employees to tell them that he was looking to have an employee-led buyout. They didn't even know that there was an employee-led buyout going on until after he came downstairs and told them that that was happening. When he finally came down, we asked him about the tweet about an employee buyout because we didn't know anything about it. And he basically said the only way the company could survive is if employees took over, but we would get significant stock. When did this conversation happen? Monday 3/7, in the evening of Monday 3/7. Every conversation that I had also had Noah kicking the can down the road, basically blaming everyone else and saying that it was going to be fine. He never really owned any of this for himself and apparently blamed all of the other employees. The girl that was responsible for providing the list of people that went into the raffle to give the giveaway PC was told that she did it wrong and that she was supposed to have changed the rules, but he never told her to change the rules until after the fact. There's even a tweet that got circulated around where she was in the stream with a mod tag saying, hey, could you let us know when you change the criteria in advance next time so that we know to update the list of people that are eligible? But there was this. He was rude to everyone. Rude how? He would tell us to do stuff, and instead of just asking us, he would say, get this done. This is a joke. I can upload X amount of stuff in X hours, and I'm busier than you all. Again, saying that he was the busiest person in the entire office, but the busiest person that no one ever saw. Maybe he was busy ripping off the designs of other people, because there's this. Oh, and the issue where V1 said we copied their designs, that was Noah. Spectrum White RGB GPU backplate, custom made for any graphics card model, now with vent cutouts and ARGB addressable LEDs. This design, $50, plus you can change different stuff on a cable splitter, RGB stuff, whatever. V1 Tech makes customizable parts for PCs. You can do all kinds of crazy customizing with PC parts and stuff that they manufacture to spec based on whatever you want done. They're actually a really cool fabrication shop. I never really had heard of these guys other than their name, and I like their stuff. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The thing with V1 Tech that she was talking about was this image. This image is from the Artesian store. It's $90. Noah was ripping off designs of other companies and then just listing them on their website for a massive markup as an Artesian product. I wouldn't even be surprised if he was buying the $50 product from V1 Tech, having it sent to Artesian, and then just shipping it back out to somebody that bought it from him. Some shady shit, man. That's some shady shit. Now, for those of you that haven't seen the prior videos, in the midst of all of this, the suppliers of parts and stuff, I had been told that the suppliers that were supplying them parts cut them off on credit. They couldn't get invoices of 30, 60, 90 days anymore. They had to go cash only, meaning wire transfer. They couldn't even use a credit card. And that was true. That got re-verified by 4 different sources inside of the company between the conversations that I had before and the conversations that I've had now. Now, on the tail end of all of this that had happened, the employees tried to step in at the tail end of last week and tried to take over. Given the devastating actions taken against our community, lack of leadership through this time of company crisis and toxic reputation he's fostered, we are calling on our board of directors to remove our CEO, Noah Katz. The board needs to give the employees of Artesian Builds a fighting chance to save our jobs under new leadership. It then goes on to say that it's more than just Noah, and it's like the employees, and the employees should be able to appoint a new CEO. They even tried to name who they would like the new CEO to be, a couple of different options. The problem with this is that the board of directors is probably Noah and his 2 parents. There's no way in hell that they were ever going to end up handing that off. It was a pie-in-the-sky request by a dreamer. No offense, man. Like, props to you for trying. You knew better, though. There's no way in hell that they were going to end up giving that away. In the midst of these little conversations about how they were trying to get PCs made, this employees need to take over the business kind of stuff, there was also conversations about how they can't issue refunds to anyone. I know that Artesian lost the ability to buy parts from their supplier on credit and had to pay cash for everything if they wanted parts. I also know that they stopped issuing refunds or at least considered it. His mom said that they were prioritizing employee paychecks over refunds, but it looks like they might not even be doing that. He honestly just seemed out of it and was trying to reassure himself that things would be fine while we all knew that this was happening. He wasn't issuing. They froze the accounts. I actually have Slack messages from people that were provided to me in screen caps where people were saying that they weren't able to send refunds out to people because the accounts were frozen. Money was not moving. That was on Friday or Saturday. Early Monday morning, Sunday, whatever, maybe Sunday evening, there was this message. Hi, everyone. I was just informed that the Oakland office will be closed tomorrow. Once I hear of anything new, I will send an update. Please spread the news, as I know there's not everyone that checks their Slack after hours. The Oakland office, the San Francisco office, was closed on Monday, shut off. No one comes into work, and then the questions started circulating. So what's going on? What are we trying to do here? Over the weekend, someone even tried to work on a PR statement. So-and-so and team, thank you for this message. I have much to say on this matter, but I'm providing Noah, his family, and the lawyer with the opportunity to update on specifics that are going on. I can say that there's a personal PR report that I've prepared and suggested to them, and I'm currently awaiting their approval for it to go out. Once they approve, my initiative would be to then share it with everyone on the team here for their approval for it to go out. And once we have the seal of approval from the majority of staff here after Noah and his family's approval first and foremost, it can go out and should mitigate a lot of damage that continues happening to the brand. The PR team that wrote the white letterhead apology, non-apology that Noah hadn't even seen, started saying that they were trying to prepare a PR statement that they wanted the family to go over and then, I guess, approve. Then, later on, there was the question about any update on the PR initiative. West Coast was told not to come into the office today. I understand the situation is complicated, but when do we stop the bleeding? A small contingency of us are working on some modifications to the statement. The first draft I wrote was not approved by the Katz family. A new draft will be given to them today. And in steps, for the first time, our lawyer. For context, the company is consulting with myself and other outside professionals regarding the options and requirements for dealing with the current situation. Those professionals need time to receive and analyze information and then provide the company with advice and or direction. When the company has that and can share, it will. Now that was the last piece of legalese that anyone saw until this last bit about the second draft of the PR statement being created and getting looked over. People will have a couple of hours to be able to look over this PR statement before we end up pushing it out to Twitter and Discord. Hopefully the family approves it, and when they do, we'll be on a path to recovery. 2 hours after that was written, Noah ended up writing the blurb about how they are treating everyone fairly and have to close the doors and can't afford it and everyone's getting laid off. He couldn't even do it to their faces. Yeah, true leader. True leader. Now, naturally, the first and second questions that people asked was about their paycheck and about their customers. We got people's PCs waiting to get shipped out tomorrow. You can't do this to customers that have been defending us through this fiasco. Apparently, there had been customers still defending them through this. Maybe because they were hoping that they were actually going to get their shit. I don't know. What I got told was that they lost about $300,000 worth of canceled orders after the videos that got put out about their tax stuff and the PR nightmare of the giveaway happened. From here, the lawyer steps in again, and we never hear from Noah since. Noah has not said anything to anyone at all, aside from a couple of small things. After he laid everyone off, the lawyer stepped in and said, I'll provide what clarity I can. I'm sorry, I don't have more to add. The company has counsel that specializes in this type of stuff, not me providing direction. They need to complete their work and tell the company what the appropriate steps are to do in this situation, the company meaning Noah. For now, everything is frozen in their direction, including all payroll. Yes, that includes Noah's payroll as well. Yeah, I'm sure that Noah's really monetarily hurting having his mom and dad financially back the company, and he already fleeced it for 2 sports cars, but I digress. No money moves without their direction and likely until they complete their analysis. Once that's done, depending on what transpires in the interim and what they recommend, the company could resume operations or it may remain shut down and have to be dissolved. And then regarding paychecks, the lawyer ends up stepping in again and says, I can't give any of you any legal advice in this situation. What I can say is that the advice to suspend all operations is based on the company's lack of solvency. There's that lack of solvency phrase. Insolvent. They have no money. They are broke. It's all gone. It's not in a position to meet its financial obligations, including wages. If that doesn't change and it remains unable to pay, each of you will need to decide how best to pursue or not pursue your claims for unpaid wages. What that reads to me like is mom and dad are covering the cost of the attorneys. Noah has no money whatsoever. He's probably in debt up to his eyeballs. All of this reads to me like bankruptcy, by the way. All of this reads like bankruptcy. Following this, people started obviously flipping out a little bit. But I do have one more message that was sent to me kind of like in the 11th hour. And it's a little bit blurry because it was like a picture taken of a computer screen. Professionals advise me. Professionals protect us. We have not done anything wrong except skipping a person in a giveaway. That's it. Literally. Really. So the V1 Tech thing where you ripped off the back plate, that wasn't a thing. So the V1 Tech thing wasn't a mistake. Getting your business suspended by the state of California wasn't anything that was done wrong. Not paying your license for the ability to be able to sell warranties. He didn't pay his insurance license, so he couldn't sell warranties, even though they were since November of last year when it got marked as defaulted because he didn't pay the $175 fee to renew the license. That wasn't having done anything wrong. I mean, treating people like they're objects wasn't doing anything wrong. Even your own employees. You treated horribly, Noah. Noah, you treated them like dog shit. I hope that you are watching this. You do not know how to treat people. You don't know how to manage money. You don't know how to effectively manage a business. You are not a leader. You are not a leader. You have not been a leader. You are a follower that needs to start following the direction of other people. You're a good salesperson is what you are. Get a job selling shit. Get a job as a pharmaceutical rep. Sell drugs to doctors. Doing what you're doing right now, you can't. You're not capable of it. You don't understand people, and you're not even trying to. You're horrible at this job. So after locking everybody in the company out of socials, he tweeted that they were shutting down operations. He tweeted it. Once that went down, he tweeted out, "We are sad to announce that effective now, we are freezing and suspending all activities, ongoing analysis by outside counsel for reorg to ensure fair treatment of clients, creditors, employees. We expect more info by month's end. We are open to assistance/investment." I don't know of anybody that would try to throw money into such a horribly financially mismanaged company as this one. I feel really, really bad for the people that work for them. Naturally, it would make sense that then following all of this, they would have the website shut down, right? You wouldn't be able to get into the marketplace to buy a computer or anything, right? Yeah, so this is a $4,000 computer that I picked at random from their store page, and it's still letting me check out for a $4,000 check. All of the stuff that I clicked on was stuff that I could still purchase. They haven't shut down the marketplace at all. People that are not following this social media snafu and the complete meltdown of this company could still potentially be ordering computers from Artesian, spending their cash and having it taken. All of this stuff is you can still buy a PC from them. One of the things that happens when the state of California ends up suspending your business is you don't get legal right to own your name anymore. You can't protect the name of your company, which means that anyone else can come in the state of California and register the LLC if they wanted to themselves. A couple of people ended up doing that. One person registered Artesian Builds LLC, and the other person registered Artesian Future Technologies LLC, which is the two names that Artesian Builds has been underneath for a while now. So at the very least in the state of California, they couldn't really, I guess, work as Artesian Builds anymore. Noah apparently is trying to distance himself from the Artesian Builds brand because if you didn't know, on Etsy, Artesian Builds had a page where they had done a bunch of builds for GPU mining rigs through Etsy. Yeah. Except the Artesian Builds page doesn't really exist anymore. Instead, now, as of March 4th, 2022, it exists as AB Mining, located in San Francisco, California, 603 sales. He changed the name of the company, and he changed the branding of the company. He's still trying to conduct business. $39,000 GPU mining rig or a $50,000 GPU mining rig from AB Mining instead of Artesian Builds. Not really a big stretch there. And for those of you that are trying to get your stuff out of Artesian, you're going to have a hell of a time. I know for a fact, just from Slack conversations, not even including my friends that I know have like giveaway PCs and stuff that are still unbuilt, just from these Slack conversations, I can see over $50,000 in unbuilt, undelivered PCs, both to charitable organizations, giveaway stuff that people were supposed to have had shipped to them, channels. One channel has a $20,000 order for a series of computers that are supposed to be getting sent to them for their own purposes in their own office, unbuilt. They're not getting any of it. There's no one in the warehouse to build it. No one's ordering parts. They have nothing to send people. It's all empty. All of it. They can't honor anything. And if you try to email them about it, you get this. Undeliverable. Deliveries failed to these recipients or groups. Okay, in closing, I just want to say this. Beating the dead horse that is Noah, well, I mean, he's trying to resurrect himself with this Etsy bullshit, which is insane. It's insane to me that he would do that. But aside from that, to the employees of Artesian, I am so sorry that all of this happened to you. I'm glad that you wanted to talk to me about it. Thank you to all of you that have sent me messages and asked to have your story shared. I'm hopefully doing all of you justice. To the clients and customers of Artesian Builds, I don't know where to go from here, and I am so sorry that you've been taken advantage of, sending in GPUs that will never be returned, PCs that likely won't ever get built, community winnings that won't ever likely get delivered unless people start a GoFundMe, and maybe some other PC builders would want to step in, and if there's like proof that could be applied or supplied to any of them, maybe there's some PC builders that would be willing to band together to try and make sure that people get those computers delivered to them, because these content creators paid for these to be generated themselves, which means that they have to pay for them again. And some of us don't have the ability to do that, unfortunately. Now, for those of you that are looking to have a reputable PC builder build your stuff, I can recommend 3. The personal one that I have worked with that sponsors me actually is a guy named Stints at stintsbuilt.com. If you're looking for a direct link to that stuff, you can find it in the description of all of my videos. Also, the guys over at Meta PCs and the guys over at Power GPU seem to be incredibly competent. For those of you that did work at Artesian and are still looking for gainful employment, I assume that a lot of you still are. If you reach out to the owner of Meta PCs, write them an email, shoot them a DM on Twitter, they are looking for people that are willing to relocate to Arizona for work. So hopefully, if I can help at any level, it would be that. This is one of those like crazy one-off type scenarios that you never ever see happen in the business world. Not this publicly. Like companies come and go all the time. People mismanage money all the time. You just never see it go this nuclear, because this is insanity. I don't really have anything else to say. Thank you guys for coming by and checking out my stuff. I appreciate all of your eyeballs. Consider subbing the channel if you'd be so kind. I'm trying to get to that 100K mark so I can get that cool little plaque to put on my desk or something. And I'll see you in the next one, okay? Peace.